You're listening to Loving BDSM Podcast, episode 29. Hey everybody, Kayla Lords here. Today's topic comes straight from a listener, and it's a question that I think affects most submissives. Why do we have such a hard time accepting help from our dominants? Welcome to the Loving BDSM Podcast. If this is your first time listening, glad to have you. If you're back for another week, welcome back. Loving BDSM is produced every Friday for your kinky pleasure and education, and show notes are found at kaylalords.com. Come back often and feel free to add the podcast to your favorite RSS feed or iTunes. If you love what you hear, we'd love a good review on iTunes to help other kinksters find us. You can follow me on Twitter at Kayla Lords or stalk John Brownstone at southernsirsplace.com. All links are in the show notes. Just a reminder that I am on Patreon looking for kinky patrons to help me keep the podcast and my writing going. Anyone who can and wants to show their love can make a monthly pledge for as little as $1 a month. Go a little higher and you get perks, including monthly videos of me talking about kink, sex, writing, you name it. Your support will help me upgrade the equipment I use, have more time to create more and better episodes, and even make the podcast ad-free, which would be really nice. You can stop at any time, and no worries, if you just can't afford to do it or it's not your thing, I still adore you. Thank you just for listening to me every week. Okay, on to the show. I have to thank a listener for sending me this week's topic. I read her email and immediately thought, oh my god, I do that too. I don't pretend to have all the answers about this, and maybe this is just the first of many discussions to come on the topic as we all try to figure this one out, but she raised a really good question. Why is it, after finally admitting to ourselves that we want someone who can care for us, who we can lean on and depend on, and who we know will take care of us, that when they offer to help us, we try to reject that help? I mean, we're submissives who love serving our dominant, but somehow don't feel comfortable with being served by our dominant, if that's even the correct term. Now, I said try to reject that help because some dominants, my own John Brownstone included, won't always take no for an answer. He offers to help. I brush him off as if I don't need it. I get the look, you know the one, and the tone, you know the one. The dom voice and the dom look together, yeah, I'm not refusing anything after that. But it wasn't always like that for us. Let me give you an example of what it once looked like. When we first moved in together, we had several weeks, and months really, where we had to learn to adjust to being DS on a full-time basis, which was tough enough, and living with another person again. Also not easy. There were plenty of things I was used to doing on my own. I'd done them on my own when I was married, then single, and so now, living with my daddy Dom, I just kept doing what I'd always done. Picture this, y'all. 3 pots on the stove, one about to boil over. The table needs to be set, the drinks need to be poured. Salt, pepper, knives, forks. Which kid doesn't like this vegetable and which kid doesn't like the potatoes? Oh, we need to plate up now. And I was running in circles trying to get dinner on the table. He asked if he could help. Nope, I'm good. I got it. It's fine. Until I dropped a plate and the water boiled over on the stove and I forgot the damn salt and pepper. It was nothing really, not in the grand scheme of things, but when I feel out of control over the things I think I'm supposed to control, I get a little wound up. And for those of you who are new to this, yeah, I know it sounds crazy. A submissive who needs to be in control of things. It happens a lot, y'all. Anyway, he said, "You don't got it, let me help." I pushed back. We fussed at one another. He tried to help anyway, and all we did was bump into one another for 15 minutes. It was a mess, y'all. That night, he sat me down and we talked about it. By the end of that conversation, I had a new rule. When he offers to help, I need to 1, let him help, and 2, give him direction on what to do until we could figure out how to work side by side in those kinds of moments. I was also under orders to ask for help if I need it, which I am totally still working on that one because I like trying out for the part of Wonder Woman at least once a week. But now, nearly 2 years later, we've got a routine down. If he asks for help, I can accept it better because I'm used to it now, and I can tell him what I need him to do. Plus, he now knows when he can just jump in without asking and just do something. We've figured out our pattern for working together, in and out of the kitchen. Now, that's a very small thing, and it's really a new couple thing, probably more than a DS thing, but what is that about? Prior to discovering DS and meeting Daddy, I wanted nothing more than a partner who would be by my side, take care of me and help me. even though I had been taught my whole life I wasn't supposed to want that, and I felt guilty for wanting that, that's what I wanted. And then once I had what I wanted, in a way I never could have imagined then, I seemed to reject his help and the way he wanted to care for me. Sure, when it comes to obeying orders, it's almost easy. Tell me what to do and I'll do it. But offering to help me, I should be able to do it on my own. You shouldn't have to worry about me. At least that's the thought process I go through. And that, I think, is part of it. Part of serving and submitting is taking care of our dominants. What if we're worried that we're a burden on them? What if it's not that we can't accept help, but that we think we shouldn't need their help? Are we telling ourselves that if we were somehow better or smarter or faster or more efficient or whatever, that they wouldn't need to help us in the first place with big or little things? Does accepting help feel like admitting failure and defeat? Maybe some of that, maybe all of that, at least in some situations. Now, the person who emailed me gave her own example. Her dominant offered to help her fix the air conditioning in her car. Now, that's definitely a situation where he's providing for her, taking care of her, and it has very little to do with his needs, unless you define having a happy and not melting submissive as being part of his needs, which I could totally see that. But really, this is about doing something for her, caring for her, and she finds it hard to accept that kind of help. Why is that? Is it left over from all those years where we had to be completely independent? Were we all fed the same lessons about not accepting help from anyone? I mean, I know I was. Most of my life, I either said or heard that I shouldn't need a man for anything. And while I nodded and said all the right things, that never felt completely right, which totally makes sense now, right? Are these just old lessons that we haven't forgotten yet? Maybe it's all of that and more. Maybe we're afraid of feeling like we cost our dominant something that's precious to them, whether it's money or time or something else. Maybe we're not sure we deserve that kind of help. I know I had a problem accepting anything from Daddy for a very long time. Now, though, with the baby girl side of me being loud and proud, I'm practically begging for treats and little things that just make me happy. So when he hands me something, I am happy. And yes, I'm even surprised. Even when I ask for something, I'm always surprised. I'm grateful, and I'm a little bit like a wiggly puppy when I get something. But that's now. In the beginning, I found it very difficult even to receive gifts from him. Not help, not, assistance, just a gift. He saw it for me. He thought I should have it, and here, have it. It was almost like I didn't think I deserved that from him. Now, I don't have all the answers for why we act this way, and truly, if you have any thoughts about why we do this, I'd love to hear them. I would guess that for those of us who have a problem accepting help from our dominants, in whatever form it may come in, we probably have a lot of old thoughts and feelings and memories that we have to overcome. And once we do, in either a mindful way, and by that I mean when we think about something, we think it through, we sort of dissect it in our head, and we actively work to overcome our own thought processes, or simply by letting our dominants take the lead, which we're supposed to do anyway, y'all. Maybe we'll find it easier to accept their help and support and care that we desperately wanted in the first place. At least that's my theory anyway. Now, really, y'all, if you have thoughts on this topic about why we silly submissives that we are like, no, don't help me. I really would love to hear your thoughts. And if I get enough responses, maybe it'll be enough to do a follow-up episode and we can maybe learn some more about this, because I don't think this is very uncommon. I don't know if it's a female submissive thing versus a male submissive thing. Any men out there who submit, if you have this common thought process, please reach out and let me know. I would love your insight to it as well. I can make the case for why women do this, because I am a woman and there's all those issues, but man, if it's not about gender and it's about submissives, that would be fascinating to know. If you have had this problem and you have overcome it, or you've thought about it until smoke came out of your ears and you really have an opinion, please let me know. Contact links are in the show notes page, KaylaLords@gmail.com, whatever. But if we all sort of brainstorm this. Maybe I can do another episode and we can talk about it some more. So just keep that in mind, y'all. That's it for me this week. I am going to bat my big brown eyes at Daddy and see if we can do next week's episode 30, together, since he won't be at work at all next week. So maybe we can sneak away into our recording studio, which doubles as a closet, and see what kind of crazy kinky fuckery we can come up with and make an episode for you guys. That'd be awesome. We shall see. Anyway, keep it kinky, y'all, and we'll see you next week.